my word, it's been a while since I've done an update, but it's time for an update. So today I kind of want to just do an update on what's been going on since we moved in and what sort of happened before we moved in. Oh, that's a lizard.
Oh, Mommy, it's saying hi to you.
Is he waving to me? You gonna poke him with a stick, or you're trying to get him on the stick?
Trying to get him on.
Okay.
Hi, sweetie.
So we've been here about 3 months, and I had intended on doing like a final house tour of what it looked like before we moved in, and I did that, but then I lost a bunch of the clips. So then I got frustrated and I fell off the wagon, and so I was like, I need to do this now because we have a project that's about to change some things coming up pretty soon. So I want to sort of document what things are looking like right now and where we're at and what has happened. And it's going to be a super talkative, chatty video. There's not going to be a lot to see, but anyways, a couple updates on what's been going on. Okay, so first things first, I want to go back to like right before we moved in March, and I'll say that I made the mistake of thinking something different about a water softener. That's where this all started. So as the plumber was here working before we lived here, working on the tub, working on the sinks, etc., I noticed that the water was like cloudy, almost gray, sometimes brown and orange. And I really thought either it was rust in the pipes or it was dirt because, as you know, no one lived here for a couple of months before we did. So I saw a water softener downstairs in the basement, and I kind of thought, well, maybe that's the issue, like, because we didn't have it hooked up. And once we get it hooked up, our water will start looking better. So I got distracted by all the other things we were doing. The week before we moved in, I realized I had not turned on that water softener, and I needed to do that. So one day we were here, I go downstairs, I plug it up, it starts doing its thing. I start doing some research on what it's supposed to do, what it's supposed to sound like, what it's supposed to be programmed with. And I learned that if the salt in it sits for too long, it can get compacted. And I thought, oh no. So I start digging through the salt, trying to see if it's compacted. Luckily, it wasn't. Chris came down to help me. It wasn't compacted. It was fine. But what happened was as we turned it on, the water really didn't change much. So we still had this issue of this discoloration of our water, and it was bad. So we started doing more research. So as I did more research about the color of our water, I learned that we could have like high iron, some other different things in our water. So we got a test kit from Lowe's, tested it, and it came back high iron like we thought it was going to. With the high iron, our water looked very orange at this point. We have been running it, we've been trying to figure out what's going on, and at this point it was like a very orange golden color. The best solution that we decided on was to get a water filtration system, and we talked to our plumber, and he was like, yeah, I'm familiar with that, I can hook it up. And so we went ahead and pulled the plug and bought it. We bought the iSpring water filtration system off of Amazon, and I had my plumber come out like the next day that it arrived, and with the system and our plumber, it was about 1 week and $1,000 later that we had clean water. So let me go show you what it looks like in our basement hooked up. Here she is. And each one of these filters something different. But of the videos that we watched, whenever people clean these out, this whole thing is just full of stuff. So because we have a well, as you know, if you have a well, you also get sediment, sand, and things like that in your water. And so this system takes care of everything, as well as the iron issue that we were having. And then this little part right here is like a flush out valve, so that's pretty cool. Everything here is hooked up to our well, and our plumber did a really good job making sure we had shut-off valves and all these little handles so that we can change out those filters without any issues of water. So that problem got fixed, and I felt really good about it. The water now is clear. We have had no issues. Everything looks great. And I feel really good about that. I wish I'd have figured it out sooner, but better late than never, right? And now it's good. So it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just sort of a nuisance that how did I let this get past me? How did I not do this before? But I didn't. All right, so the next issue that we still haven't really fixed is our dishwasher broke. So, like everybody else, I love my dishwasher. The dishwasher that I had, I loved. Don't love this dishwasher because it doesn't work. Now, we had the house inspected. It worked at the inspection. Of course it did. It's an appliance. It's not a big deal. It's just annoying. That's all. It's just annoying. It broke. We haven't used a dishwasher since we've lived here. We've been hand washing everything. And I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet because otherwise I would probably have never taught my kids how to wash dishes regularly. Let's say it that way. They, of course, would be taught it at some point, but not like they are now. Like now it's like, if you want a fork, you're going to have to wash it. So yeah, it's not a big deal. It was just sort of a bummer that here we go to wash some dishes and great. And we just have not had the time either, or really the motivation to go get one either. I know that a lot of dishwashers are on back order and all of this stuff, and I'm just in no hurry really. I'm getting used to the routine, plus it's summer and I have more time on my hands, so it's not a big deal. It was just kind of a funny, oh, the dishwasher broke kind of thing. So, not a big deal, but kind of funny. All right, so that gets me to our final issue, which is still an issue, which also leads into the project that's going to be changing some things. So, when we came to look at this house, we knew that water was getting into the basement. And we had our ideas of why and how it was getting into the basement, and we knew that it was fixable. So this is an issue that we knew we would have to take care of, but we did not want to take care of until we lived here because of the time of the year that we had moved in, and yada, yada, yada. So, a couple of weeks after living here, I'm calling and trying to get this issue fixed or try to get the job lined up is what I should say. So it's taken about 3 months for these guys to get to us, and it's because they're so busy. They are going to come and remove a bunch of bushes from the right side of the house because we believe that the water coming into the basement is from a gutter and a pipe, and we can't get to that gutter and that pipe because of all of the bushes. So when I say water's coming into the basement, I don't want you to think like a little trickle or like a regular amount of water either. It is only whenever it rains, and it's only whenever it rains a lot. There was one night where Chris and I were downstairs in the basement for like 3 hours. I was in my pajamas. He's in his pajamas. At some point, we just took our shoes and socks off and said, forget it. There was water from one end of the basement to the other, and we were mopping it. We were dumping buckets. I ended up going to get the squeegee out of the shower. I duct taped it to the end of a Swiffer handle and was squeegeeing the water into the drain at the end of the basement. It was not fun, to say the least, but it taught us that we know that the water is rain. We know it. It's not coming from some other place. It is from the rain. And what collects rain? The gutters. And where is it? On that side of the house. So anyways, we're getting it fixed, kinda. Let me go show you where it's at and the bushes and what's going to change. All right, so this is the back side of the house, and this right here, this little corner is where I was at with the water, and right below the water filtration system, right below that is where the water is coming in, because we believe that the gutter right there on that corner right there runs down, runs this way into a pipe that is either directed into the house or busted. So something's wrong right here, and we can't tell because we've got all of this in our way. So what's going to happen soon is these bushes all the way from the front to the side are going to be removed. And I'm kind of super excited about this because they are huge. They are just huge. And there's all kinds of things growing in them. And I don't know. I'm a little sad because over here there's a really pretty lavender bush. However, it hasn't been taken care of very well. And I think it could probably be treated better. But all of this is being removed in a couple of weeks, maybe this weekend. We shall see. So that's going to be a huge change to the front of the house, and I am so excited because it's a little step towards changing the outside of the house. We didn't do anything to the exterior, and this is part of the reason why. I don't know if I am going to paint the house, if I'm just going to paint the shutters, if I'm going to do the porch first. I don't know, but what I do know is that I couldn't do anything until these bushes were gone. So, see ya. Now, once these bushes are gone, we then have to take that gutter water and the pipe, and we have to figure out the issue down here. And we are going to run a pipe down and get the water to go where we want it to go. Now, another thing that we know that is interesting to us, and we think might be some of the culprit issue here, is at some point one of the owners had a pottery shed. And the pottery, we think that the potter was using rainwater in their pottery, which is super smart, right? But then whenever the pottery shed was removed, that water that they were using had to be relocated somewhere, and we think that they tried to tap into a pipe and either didn't do it right or it busted. I really think it's busted over there somewhere because it's so wet, and there's like this weird layer of like plastic and landscape paper, and it's just fishy why there's all that stuff over there. So anyways, bushes are leaving, we're digging, trenching. Hopefully that fixes the basement issue. If that does not fix the basement issue, I'm probably going to recruit some professional help. Other than that night where we had that downpour, it's totally fine. Like the buckets that the water gets collected in stay dry. Even like these little rainstorms that we've been having where there's like a trickle of rain, it's fine. It's just those gushing rain storms that fill up those buckets. But we can tell that the cinder blocks are what fill up, and then they come out of those little relieve holes. And once they come out of those relieve holes, it's just I mean, it's water, you know, water just flows, and you have to stay on top of it, and then it's all in the floor. So that was a fun night. I hope to never ever have to deal with that again after this gets fixed, but we are patiently waiting for those guys to come and remove all this stuff and dig us a trench, because we really believe this is our issue. And if this is it, this is going to change our basement life, because then we'll be able to safely put things down there and not worry about water getting to them. Because right now we're not really using the basement like I really want to, because I'm a little afraid that rain and water is going to get to things. So that's the plan. Those are pretty much it. I do not have this major nightmare to share. Like, We have been so lucky and so blessed with help and good people helping us do all the projects that we've done before we lived here. I really don't have many things to complain about. And out of those 3 issues, one is about to be fixed. One, I just need to go buy the dishwasher, and one already fixed. So really nothing major to complain about, truly. So if you're renovating a house and it's been the worst nightmare of your life, I'm so sorry. But honestly, for us, it hasn't. And we're just pressing forward, and we've got more projects coming our way, and we're just, I don't know, we're excited about them. All right, now let's talk about some of the good things. So we moved in, we got everything sort of situated where we wanted it to be, and then we went outside and we started working on landscaping and fixing some of the issues. We trimmed limbs and we got rid of a lot of dead things that have just didn't come back, I guess, from neglect. And we added mulch beds around our trees. So there's one there and here, and then I'm standing in front of one here. We also added a mulch bed there around our little well house. I trimmed up that bush into more of a tree shape. We've put mulch also around this apple tree and also our grapevines. See right here, we cleaned up under there. Another space was this peach tree here. We put a little circle around it and cleaned up this front flower bed. Let me go show you that. So in this flower bed, things were completely full. I have cut out all of this and all of this, and most of this still has to be cut out. A lot of these bushes over here, there was a lot of dead things in. I worked on that all spring. And because it's summer, I've sort of taken a break and I'm still learning what's growing here, like weeds. Lots of weeds. There's more dead back there, I can see. And then of course these crepe myrtles that are huge. I'm waiting to see what color they are before I add any plants in here. But this side I've not done much with, except trim up like this tulip tree in the spring. I did that, and some of these azaleas I cut back, but I'm going to leave them alone this year for the most part, other than just getting the dead out of them. Let's see, we've got weeds and trees and lots of things trying to grow in here. Like I have a tree like this right here. The whole thing just needs to be cut down. This limb, I want to go. The crepe myrtles need some more shaping up. So I focused most of my attention here on this little corner. There was a bunch of azaleas there that had grown up into that tree and sort of misshapen how it grew. So I worked on this side of the tree this spring and I couldn't get to this side, so I'll be working on that side soon. But then all of this stuff I've dug up. It was just weeds and trees and things that needed to go. But I really am excited to see these crepe myrtles bloom. I cannot wait to see what color they are. I'm thinking that they're white. I'm predicting that they're white. I don't know, with the size of them and projection of their age, my guess is that they're white, but I could be wrong. They could be pink and purple. I don't know. I can't wait to find out, but it should be soon. But basically, the plan for this front bed is to just clean it up, and then I can start designing it different. I've got some ideas in my head to add a lot more color because it's just green. Like in the spring, there was purple and pink, and then now that it's summer, there's just this lull, and it's, you know, it's going to take time for me to learn all the different colors, especially like fall. What does it look like in the fall? Does it need anything in the fall? So anyways, I've got some ideas. I've got some sketches and things, but right now I'm just still kind of listening and learning and watching what it does naturally. Now the final thing that I want to share is going to be kind of silly to some of you because it's something that you probably grew up doing or that you do every year. But I planted a vegetable garden and I've never grown food before. And this is the first year I did it. I have no idea what I'm doing. Know nothing about growing food. But I also could not pass up the chance to plant flowers. So I planted a sweet little garden and I'm super proud of it. We had these poles and we thought, oh, we're gonna rip those up. And then Chris suggested, he's like, you know, if you're gonna plant cucumbers, just let them vine up that thing and then we'll remove it later. So I already have plans for next year's garden. I'm already planning that and where I want it to go. Now that we've lived here, I've sort of seen the sun patterns and what looks best right now. But I'm really proud of how it's going so far in this sweet little garden. So let me show you what it's looking like here at the end of June. So, oh, one little sunflower didn't make it, but I've got a patch of sunflowers here. I planted some of those skyscraper ones, and then I also planted some of the shorter ones that are variated in color. Early on, I sprinkled in some marigolds, so if you see those little pops of yellow, that's what those are, but they have about had it out here with all the rain. And same thing for my baskets. They are overwatered. They're just over the rain. So I didn't take them down. I didn't take them in. I just left them and they look sad, but it's okay. My sunflowers are looking great though, especially this one. This one has been what Allie calls the winner, the one that's growing the tallest. That one's the winner at the moment. And I've got a couple of zinnias. Excuse the weeds. I know, I'm not doing my thing. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. I've come out here and pulled and hoed probably twice, and it was all nice and clean and fresh, and it's just due for that again, but I couldn't wait to show you. A little marigold still hanging on here. These are watermelon, and for the longest time they didn't move at all, and now they're starting to grow, so we'll see what happens there. Corn, just enough corn probably to entice some deer into our yard, so I'm hoping to be able to eat corn at least once before all the animals get it. I've got one sad little tomato here. It's another plant that just would not grow, and then all of a sudden it's shot up, so we'll see what it does. Some sad petunias. I don't know what's going on here with these petunias. They are really pretty, but I don't know, not filling up that. I've got rosemary, thyme. We've got this tomato. That's our happiest tomato plant with a tomato on it. The kids have been so excited to see all these things grow. I've got a cantaloupe starting to move and groove there. I've planted, let me think, zucchini, tomato, squash, and so far we've pulled, I think, 3 squash, a zucchini, and then about 3 or 4 cucumbers. And they are climbing. I've sort of taught them how. I've got one here I need to tie up, and then these little, if you can get these to wrap around, you're good. Like this one is trying to grab onto something, so I need to give it some more support and tie it up a little bit more, but that one is going. Look at it. I just did that yesterday and it grew that much and held on to it. So, oh, I skipped my flower patch here. I clipped these yesterday, so these are new. Well, is that one new? Looks like it's got buds. Maybe I left that one. Bugs, I mean. But I don't have the biggest zinnia patch ever, but I think I planted like 1 pack from all of these that I'm showing you because I didn't know if they would grow at all. So I'm pretty happy with the amount that I planted. Like I said, I've never done this, so I was happy to get anything. Cucumbers, some more zinnias that decided to live there, some more sunflowers, another zinnia starting to come out. I think that one's going to be pink. And our sweet cucumbers, they're just happy. Look at all those flowers. Holy moly. Oh, there's a little cucumber back there. Ah, where is it? Oh, nope, nope. There it is. So that might be my next pick. I think that's the one that's farthest along so far. So not a ginormous garden by no means, but I was just so happy. I told Chris that I'm going to set the bar low, and I'm going to say if I can get one sunflower, I'm considering this a successful garden. I tried to grow sunflowers a couple of years ago, right whenever we got our dog Turbo, and he was a puppy, and he was born in the spring, so he was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months old. And I had this sunflower that had bloomed, and it was swaying in the wind. And it was a small sunflower, like it was not like the big ones, but it was, and plus I had it in a container, and I had mothered that thing. I mean, I was like, yay, look at this beautiful sunflower. And he was sitting beside that sunflower, and it was swaying in the wind, and it just happened to catch his attention, and he took his mouth and just ate it. He just ate it. And I'll never forget that. I waited so long for that sunflower, and he just engulfed it. Just, so I always see sunflowers and I think about Turbo eating them because he was just so goofy and silly, but you couldn't be mad at him. He was so cute. So anyways, that's my sunflower story. So if I can get this giant sunflower to bloom, I'll be happy. And so far I've already gotten vegetables, so I'm already winning. So anything after this is just green and golden. But doing a garden with kids is so much fun. Like teaching them about how food grows and comes from a seed, and that it is, you know, not to be wasted, that it is a gift from the earth. And anyways, that has been really fun and a blessing. So that's it for today's video. I am going to stop here. That is our good, bad, and ugly about where we've been for the last 3 months. Not a lot to complain about, really, and we're still very happy and excited with what's going on here. Whenever this changes, I'll do an update, and I'll be so excited to see what it looks like before and after. Oh, one more thing. So the guys that are coming to do this, they have a YouTube channel, and if you like watching dirt, machinery kind of things, go check out their channel. It's called Triad Dirt Works. It's a guy named Wyatt with his dad, and they do work here locally around us. This is going to be considered a really small job for them because they do a lot of bigger jobs. So I was happy whenever you said, yeah, we'll come and do it, we'll knock it out. And you know, they're good guys and they do a really good job. So go check out their channel if you like watching machinery. I know I do. Love watching people do yard work. It's way easier to watch it than to partake in it. So I can't wait to see them out here doing it in our yard. So anyways, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.